brought to you by Visiting Nurse Association Health Group.
Welcome to Life and Living. I'm Joanna Gagis. This next segment combines two of our favorite things to talk about on this show, giving back and brewing beer. With me now is Torie Fisher, founder of Backwards Flag Brewing Company. That's in Forked River, New Jersey, right?
Yes.
Down in Ocean County?
Yes.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Love the concept of your company. I think for our viewers to really understand it, we need to start with an understanding of who you are and the military service that you've offered to our country. First, thank you for your service to our country.
Thank you for your support.
Tell me about your time serving in the United States Army.
Well, I did 13 years total. It was a mixture of active duty time and Army National Guard. So I joined when I was 18. I joined the Army right out of high school. I got stationed in Germany. When my plane landed in Germany, they told us, hey, welcome to Germany. Your unit's already in Iraq. You'll be going there next. I think I spent maybe about 3 weeks total in Germany. So the first phone call home to tell my parents, hey, I made it to Germany safe, I got to tell them that I was also going to Iraq. And so a few weeks later, I started my first deployment in Iraq. I turned 19 there. I came home, I spent a little more time active duty, and then I got out briefly, and it just wasn't really working for me. So then I ended up joining the National Guard, and that, I think maybe a month after I joined the Guard, or maybe it was 2 or 3 months after I joined the Guard, I was back in Iraq for my second deployment, and this time as a helicopter crew chief. So then I ended up doing that for about 7 or 8 years with them. And somewhere in there, when things started to wind down, I just started making other life plans, wanting to do something a little bit different.
What were some of those life plans?
I kind of was looking at maybe starting a business of some sort. I had always enjoyed food and drink. I think just from kind of traveling the globe, gaining an appreciation of those things. So everything I wanted to do was geared towards that.
Do you think that the military geared you towards entrepreneurship?
Yes, definitely.
Do you think as a female there was something about that was unique? Do you think, well, I want to bring it back to the beer company too, because I think you are in a unique position, especially in New Jersey, to be a female entrepreneur in a brewing industry. But do you think that the military encouraged those skills, men, women, the same way?
I believe so. I don't think that it was any different for me just being a woman. I think it's just in general, the military puts you in positions to be a leader, to make decisions on your own. They kind of force you in positions where you need to figure out how to get the job done with very little guidance. And I think that's kind of all the same attributes that, that you look for in an entrepreneur. So it kind of guided me that way.
So how do you take this passion that you have for enjoying beer, enjoying food, and decide that you want to start brewing it yourself? That's a big leap, right? And that you want to open your own business.
The brewing side just kind of started out as a hobby. It started with, there was a guy in my unit that he did it on the side as like a little homebrew school out of his home. And so it started there, and then it was a hobby that kind of just grew. Originally, I was planning on opening a brew pub with food and beer and making the beer. And I was still serving in the military, and I put this business plan together. I had never done that before. I worked closely with the SCORE office, which is like a satellite off of the SBA. They guided me through that, and once I put all those financials down and the business plan, I said that's completely insane and it's just a plan to fail. Trying to run 2 different businesses that I really have no experience in. So I kind of scratched the restaurant and went, full steam into the brewery.
Do you mind if we take a little sample so that we
Absolutely.
can talk about it while you describe?
Sure.
I'm going to hold this as we pour. It's called Backwards Flag Brewing Company. Describe as we're pouring the beer the significance of the name.
So Backward Flag Brewing, backward flag comes from the flag that is worn on the Army uniform. That flag is worn on the right sleeve, and it kind of symbolizes, moving forward into the battle, never retreating from the fight. Some people actually refer to it as the assaulting flag. So that was kind of the perfect name for the company, because I knew that I wanted to make sure that I was encompassing not just my military service, but also, firemen, law enforcement,
Right.
other rescue personnel.
So you are employing other veterans, you're employing other
Yes.
veteran family members.
Yes.
Important to you to give back in that way and understand the needs of people who are retired military?
Yes, that's a big driver of our brewery, is always kind of focused on veteran charities, their families, employing veterans.
What are some of those charities?
Right now, we work with a lot of different organizations. Ma Deuce Deuce is one that we try and work with a lot. They give back to another organization called ORW, which is Operation Restored Warrior.
I know the Last Salute is another
Last
one.
Salute is a big one. They're New Jersey based. They are former and active duty service members who, what they do is they provide basically final services for military funerals, which the government actually doesn't provide that much funding to that anymore, so their service is very much needed. So we try and do things for them whenever we can.
Can we have a taste?
Sure.
So tell me, we're tasting first. Which one is this?
So this is the Trail to Victory. So Trail
Love
to
the names.
Victory is this is actually brewed with some peanuts, sunflower seeds, and then it's also finished with local honey and toasted coconut. So the intent behind the beer is kind of like a trail mix type. So it's
something you were very used to eating?
Right. It's kind of a throwback to spending a lot of time like at the
Right.
range or in the field,
Right.
eating things like that.
It's a
So-
medium-bodied beer, I'd say. Very smooth. Has a lot of flavor. It's delicious. I'm going to set that down and move on to what looks like a darker beer.
So this is our Milspec Black IPA, which is it is dark in color, but when you taste it, it actually doesn't have any of like the roastiness or smoke that you would get from like a stout or other dark colored beers. It's kind of a play on the eyes. It's a fun thing that we like to do.
It is.
So-
It's actually lighter. You're right. It's lighter in body. It has a really smooth taste too, but with some darker notes in there.
Yep, and then the hops that you're getting give you like those are mosaic hops, so it gives you a lot of like papaya and like some tropical fruit notes.
These are delicious. So how are you getting the word out there in just a few seconds?
Right now, it's just social media. So we do Facebook, Twitter, our
Website?
Instagram. It's backwardflagbrewing.com.
Torie Fisher, owner of Backward Flag Brewing Company in Forked River. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you for your entrepreneurship and for creating a product that I in particular now love. Thank you so much.
Brought to you by Visiting Nurse Association Health Group, Berkeley College, and by NJM Insurance Group.